How are you doing today? You good? Good? Are you all enthused? Are you all motivated? I don't feel the energy. All right. All right. I'll try again later. Okay? Every single time you enter this room, you are not here to just study. Can I have your attention, please? When you enter this room, next 3 hours is for you to really enjoy yourselves, because you're going to have the discipline that's going to make you a better person, make you a better professional, make you somebody that you want to be. Unless you go for that, this class will be a waste. I am speaking extreme manner because it's either you make a good use of this class or just waste the time. I do not want to waste time. I hope you do not want to waste your time. Like I said from the beginning, this class is not ordinary class of memorizing formulas or the stats or facts and data. That you can do yourself. You guys are all smart. High IQs and high testing scores, I respect you. Okay? We don't do that here. What we do in this class, I'm reminding again because it is important for you to be disciplined as a better business communicator. Whether you're a finance major, whether you're a technology major, whether you are anything in between, it doesn't matter. Being able to communicate effectively is very critical in this business world. Okay? And it does not take the memory capability of your brain power. You can memorize million stuff and cannot communicate effectively. Okay? It's like driving, for example. You understand how to drive, and you understand the traffic laws. Red light, you don't go. Green light, you go. There are many traffic laws you have to, respect. You can be smart to memorize all the traffic laws, but you are not a good driver as well. In business world, in finance, accounting, management, marketing, strategy, anything, there are many good stuff you can memorize. But can you actually put it into work and make it work? And it is you who's doing that. It's a whole lot of different stories. It's just like memorizing driving test rules and traffic laws, and actually driving it well is a totally different thing. This class is about you, I remind you again. For you to get the discipline, for you to improve yourself, for you to feel good. Oh, I can do this. We as a team is doing this. Something that we never expected before being only 4 weeks ago, only 4 months ago. Now we're doing it like professionals. Remember the first class or second class? I showed you the, McKinsey video? Yeah. Please show your hand if you remember those McKinsey video, if you remember it, please. If you remember the McKinsey video, please raise your hand hard. All right, and where were you, rest of you? You were sleeping, I guess. All right, I'm going to show that video one more time during the course of this semester because it is important to remind you once again. But I'm going to remind you with my verbiage. When you look at the video of McKinsey, it's a company with a lot of smart people. Company makes a lot of money because clients of McKinsey pay a lot of money, $1 million, $10 million, to get one solution out of one problem solved. Well, companies who pay that kind of money, they're also smart people. IBMs, Samsungs, Citibank, Googles, all those big companies with a lot of money and a lot of smart people, they pay McKinsey type of companies to get the problem solved. And how they do it? Because they hire those people and they train those people to think the way differently than their clients. Because they understand how to think differently. They understand how to get the solutions derived from darkness. And remember the video, that the little lady, female McKinsey member, she didn't know what to do. She's like only about 3 years into her own career out of college. And if she did not enter McKinsey, she might be doing an internship, paper copying for the CEO, not even a CEO, just maybe a middle manager of a big corporation. Now instead, because she got the discipline of McKinsey type of training and corporate environment, she's advising directly to the CEO of a major company. I would love to give you the discipline for the next, now about 3 months now, a very similar training discipline that you will advance your thinking process, your logical process, your presentation skills process, your communication skills process, your analytical skills process, to a certain degree similar to those McKinsey-type disciplined executives or the analysts. To do that, I really like you to enjoy this class. To do that, I really like you to really engage, not just listen to and to, I don't even ask you to memorize anything. You may feel like, well, I'm into 4 weeks of this class and I don't know what I learned. Good. Very good. It's not what you learn. It is what you get disciplined for. Discipline is embedded into yourself, your psychology, your neuromuscular systems, and how you think and speak and behave. It's not learning data, facts, and formula and numbers. Different than learning. Discipline is different. It is making you a different person. Okay? Now, unless I remind you at this juncture and bring everyone together with me, I'm a bus driver, for example. We have 60 people here in this big bus. I take the responsibility as a bus driver. If I do not remind my core members of this bus, I don't know where we're going to. Okay? So I'm reminding you again, this class will not only teach you how better to do a communication, but it will actually give you the discipline to convert you to a better communicator. Better communicator is not just good in speech, not just a fancy talk. No. Fancy talk, you go to TV's entertainers, they do a fancy talk. They are trained to think like that. They do a lot of fancy talks. We don't have to do that. Okay? We don't have to be fancy in talking, but we have to think the way we should be thinking and express it the way we should express it and get it done in action the way it's supposed to get it done. And it is you who's doing that, not just me. I'm just helping you to get that discipline into yourselves, okay? I can't do it for you. It is you who's doing it. That's why we teamed up 4 different groups here, team leaders and team members. No one's higher, no one's lower. Everyone's equal in a sense, because unless you contribute toward solving a problem that you designated to solve, no one's going to solve it for you. Good luck. I can't solve it for you. I will not solve it for you. It is your job, not mine. My job is to trigger you, to inspire you, to possibly help you, maybe give you advice, maybe give you some little critique so I can just wake you up. And why? All in all, to make you a better person, to make you a better communicator. How to think, express, and act the way you're supposed to be, like a professionals. Now you add finance major, you add marketing major, you add technology major. Based upon the communication skills you have as a professional level, if you add more functionality onto that discipline, whew, you're going to become very good. You're going to become very sexy. Okay? I'm going to say to this much, and I hope you will be with me and Professor Ole for next 3 months of time, because now we are in a full gear. Now, last 3 weeks, we were doing a little warming up. You do any sports, soccer, taekwondo, or anything, you do a little warm up. Last 3 weeks was a warm up. From today, we're going to go into a full gear. Okay? Now you better wake up. All right? Everyone with me? Yes. If you're with me, please raise your hand. Show me your intention. Thank you very much. Let's go. We're going to get busy this week today because I got 3 different major agenda to cover today's class. First 1/3 of the class, 1 hour. We're going to go over some lecture material about what communication is all about, from the very basic things you need to know, some knowledges you need to know, some theoretical terminology you need to know, some basic thoughts you need to know. We'll cover that from today. And every single week, we'll do that to a certain degree. Anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, we'll cover that area. We'll take a little break, come back soon, and then we're going to go into those usual mind-inspiring video, sharing of the thoughts and comments and everything, debates and everything. And then that's about 30 minutes or so, about an hour. And then the next will be either you do a presentation or you do your own team debates and team brainstormings and team discussions. Okay, so we'll have about 3 different sectors of the topics we're going to have to cover from today and onward. So we're going to get really busy. So you can expect what's coming. First thing, today is very basics of the communication framework we need to know. Just skip those. Well, starts with this. Some of the materials I'm just going to skip. Some of them I'm going to have a little focus. Remember the first day? Communication in word. When you divide into Latin segmentation, come means together. Uni means one. Asian or eight is a function, doing something. So he and I are talking or kind of sensing each other with different person. We have 60 different persons here, different thinking, different way of doing things, and we bring everyone together. If you showed your hand about 3 minutes ago, when I asked you, are you guys with me? Most of you, if not all, raise your hand. I'm thinking that I'm grateful that I have with you. I have all of you with me. Is that correct? Yes. It's not just word that I asked for. It is the thought, the heart, the energy came together. Yes? Yes. That's what it is. It is what it is. Okay? And I did it with you. Thank you. You agreed to do it with me. And I want 60 of you, 60 individuals here, be able to do the same thing, or better, do it better actually. Okay? To start with yourself, you can talk to yourself. What am I doing here? And with your friends, with your members of the team, you have 15 people. It's a large group to talk to each other. There are 15 different thoughts you need to bring together. It's not an easy job, by the way. Leaders, well, thank you. You guys taking on a very challenging job. Please do it correctly, and I hope you will do it. And I see that you have confidence to do it. Bringing everyone's thought together is not an easy job. And consider it 60 people, not easy either. Consider it 6 million user bases out there for Apple, Google, Samsung. Whew, it's not easy. How do you bring everyone's thought together into one single page? Okay, that's a start of communication. That is the important objective of communication. Bring everyone's thoughts and hearts together so we can move as one. I just gave you the definition. Just try to keep that in mind. Moving forward. 100 years ago, one general, one genius, one rich man, one powerful authority did everything for everyone else. I want to do this, everyone followed. There is no excuses. It was more like a authoritarian or a dictatorship type of the community. Nowadays, if you do that, whoa, it's not going to work. Even if you're the chairman of the company, you're the richest man in the world, well, you have to respect others. When it comes to little companies and big companies and with the consumers as well, respecting others, getting their thoughts out, have the agreement to get the job done, either between and amongst the company members or between the company and the consumers, same thing. They just have different role, but putting their thoughts together is the same mechanism, same principle. Team-based, teamwork or collaboration, it comes to you every single day. Okay? Throughout the course of this semester, this class, you'll learn how to create a teamwork, the collaboration, bring the thoughts together, and have it done without you even forcing it. You don't have to force it. If you force it, that's the lowest level of communication. You let them do it with pleasure. That's the best. Okay? We'll kind of experience and discipline how that is possible and how you can do that on a daily basis. All right, little chart. We're not going to see this a lot, but if it's there, it means it's important. Process of communication. I don't cover a lot of theories, but this theory is something you need to know as a communications expert. There are senders and receivers. I am sending you the message right now. I have a role to send you messages, and all of you here are receiving messages. Every communication, there is a sender or senders, there is a receiver or receivers. Every sender has an idea to send a message, whatever that may be, and they have a way to encode the message, put your thoughts together, and you deliver it. You carry it through a channel, and then receiver decodes it, and then receiver understands the message. Remember one of those entertainment shows, like when you have 10 people lined up, first person says something, and you turn around, say it again. Second tells the third person, turn around, turn around, turn around. And the last person says something different than the first person said. Everyone knows that kind of show, right? It is the typical example of communications noise. Okay? When sender has an idea, I say A, the last person, the 10th person says, was it oi or ui? I don't know. I meant good when I said something, but the person at the end says, how can you say that to me? I was offended. Things like that happens all the time. It's not what you say. It is what they have to understand, what they will understand. If you cannot let the person at the very end of the receiving end understand what you meant to have him or her understand, you are a bad communicator. And you know what? Many of us are bad communicators because we're all different person, different background, culture, language level, intellectual level, experience, personality, everything. So even if I say something perfectly, it may not get to you perfectly. Chances are it will not. So it's a challenge of overcoming those communication noises. When you encode something, make sure that the decoding end understand almost the same way that you intended to send. Okay? What you say is not important. What they will hear, what they will understand is important. And how you make that happen, that's what we're going to learn in discipline. Okay? So keep this in mind. Take a quick look. I'm not going to read everything, but it is what it is. When you look at the arrow area, when is communication successful? It says, when a message is understood as the sender intended it to be. It is exactly the same word I just said minutes ago. Oh, I'm a good communicator. I speak good. I speak fancy. I speak with a loud, energetic voice. Too bad. Nobody understood you. You're a bad communicator. Oh, I'm smart. I know everything. Nobody cares about you. You're a bad communicator. How can a communicator provide for feedback? Any questions? Watch the responses. Don't dominate the exchange. I have a role to just deliver a lecture today right now, so I do it. But even when I give you a lecture, I try not to dominate your thinking process. When I look at you, I make eye contacts, except those ones who are a little sleepy here. Good luck. You'll miss a lot. I would not want to dominate your mentality. I deliver what I have to deliver, and I kind of wait for your response. I'll make sure that you are with me. Otherwise, I'm not communicating effectively. You don't have to say a word. Your eyesight, your eye contact, your facial expression, your mood I sense tells a lot through what we call a non-verbal communication. Everyone feels that. it has more of the weight opposed to verbal communication. We went through that last couple of weeks, right? So try to remember all these two. Once they're in the arrow, they are important. Keep that in mind, because it's a discipline. It's like a driving skill. Well, I learned it in the driving manual or driving test. I learned the theory. A lot of people get into accident in car because they don't discipline. They don't get disciplined. They don't practice properly. They get into an accident. Not just in car, but in communication. If you do not communicate it properly, you do get into an accident. And in the business world, when you get into an accident, that's a loss of $1 billion right then and there. That's loss of a job, maybe. Loss of a career, maybe. It's a big accident. Okay? Better be good in communications. Just the basic stuff for now. Well, so encoding, decoding, understanding is important, they say. So how do you understand? You have to listen carefully, I said last time. There was a little baby elephant picture. Remember? The communication at the end, it's not about talking to you. It's about listening well. Listening well, decoding the messages and ideas, and understanding it, and try to understand what the sender intended to send. If you don't get it, well, you may be a bad decoder. Okay? It's not just the sending end, it's also the receiving end. If you do not understand how to decode and understand, well, you have a problem. So how do you listen and how do you decode? Well, there are ways. Well, these are the barriers. Let's see, these are common sense. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to say one word is not on the screen. One word I want to put into your thought process is a word called empathy. Don't need to even look at the dictionary. Empathy means I'm here, someone's there, your thought, my thought, same. What a broken English, right? Your thought, my thought, same, same, same. Very Korean English, right? I empathize with you. I understand what you're thinking. My heart's with you too. I think, my heart, with you. We same. We empathize. Not a fancy word, not a correct grammar, doesn't matter. I meant to deliver you. I want you and me, and I and you, empathize. That's all. How do you do it? You listen carefully. Open your heart. Really care about the sender of the message. Really pay attention to decode the message. Done. You don't need a PhD to be a great communicator. Done. Well, a little fun to listen to these ideas. How do you become a very good active listener? It says, stop talking. Yep. People like to express themselves, whatever it is. And when you become certain age older than 1 day old. Everyone here is older than 1 day old, right? Anyone who's older than 1 day old, they like to express what they want to do. Little baby, I cry because I'm hungry. I cry because I have a poop. I express myself. So they talk. Everyone talks. I talk, you talk, she talks, baby talks, the big company talk, and they don't listen. So I say, stop, quote, forward talking. If you know what the forward may mean. Okay? Stop talking, start listening. Okay? Everyone, do not listen. Oh, that's what I just said. want to talk about capitalizing on the lag time. When I say something, I say certain message, certain idea, and I take a little pause. I want to think about what's next as well. Well, it's about time that you also utilize that moment, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, to decode what's just received as a communications channel and try to digest those decoded messages and have a full understanding. You will have a better decoding capability, ability, discipline. You are a better communicator. It's a 50-50 chance. Bad encoder, bad decoder. Good encoder, good decoder. There's a 50-50 of half and half. Obviously, you want to be a good encoder and good encoder and good decoder. How do you do it? If you continue to talk like a TV anchor, we say announcer, right? Well, you talk without even taking a breath because you have limited time. People just watch like a stupid dumb and just, oh, okay, there's a news coming into my brain. And more than half of the news is heard, you don't remember because you didn't have a time to capitalize on the lag time. So many news you heard, you just forget. It just comes to your brain, goes out of your brain. When you do a conversation, okay, you want to take a little pause of sending or the encoding and sending the message or decoding, receiving and understanding the messages. Use those time to think. Before you speak, think 5 seconds. Before you reach a decision, think 5 seconds. Before say anything back to the person who sent you the encoding messages, take 5 seconds before you say anything. It'll help you a lot. Help you a lot. Okay? Whew. When I say something, I have a discipline of being a better communicator. When I was younger, 20 years younger, I was a very poor communicator. Well, I got a little discipline. I got punch here, punch there. You know, it hurt me, so I tried to become a better communicator. So I'm a little better than 20 years ago. I hope you'll be better 20 years later from now, or maybe 20 months later or 2 months later from now. I hope, because I'm giving you what I learned from my 20 years of experiences. Now, what I missed a lot, is reading between the lines. When I say something and another, especially in the Asian cultural context, Asians do not speak the words or the messages or encoding of the ideas directly. They kind of circle around indirectly because they think it is a polite thing to do. It is the way to survive by not making the other end enemy. If I say directly, hey, you look really stupid. Well, he's going to get offended, and he's going to say, I'm going to kill that guy. I just made him an enemy. So Asians, they have a tendency to be very indirect. Western cultures, they try to be very direct. Otherwise, you're bullshitting, you are lying, you don't know what you're saying. Don't waste my time. Get to the point. Totally different way of speaking to each other. A company of Samsung, very Asian company. A company of Apple, very Western company. They deal with both Eastern and Western culture-based consumers. How do you cope with general cultural community? Well, we have to figure it out. Okay, we'll get to that part. Now, one thing you want to understand, what you say as a person or as a company, what you say next as a company or as a person, there were intentions between what you just said 2 seconds ago, what you just said 2 seconds later. And if you cannot read in between, and it is not easy, by the way, it takes a lot of wisdom and a lot of the training and willingness to listen, you will not understand it. If you don't understand the between-the-line messages, decoding becomes very poor. Just put that into your mind. We'll get to that part as we move along. I'll show you the examples. One thing I want to also emphasize is taking notes. Okay? I go into a business when I finish my lecture session. I'm a businessman by profession, and I come lecture because I love to lecture, and it's my mission here too. But when I go into business meetings, I take notes. Either I record, handwrite, or do a little finger printing of my own smartphone. I don't take notes because even though I am very smart, right? I forget things. Even though you are very smart, you'll eventually forget a lot of things as well. Just like me. I am like you. You, me, same, you know? Right? So we take notes. Whatever is impacting your psychology, your thought, your response, at the very moment, you take notes. Even if that note is just one word, one diagram, one little picture, one little icon, one little emoticon, you take note. Keep that and use it later to organize again. Decode it, understand it, and put it to your own benefit of understanding what's next. Okay? So take those discipline into your own habit. Even in your own team brainstorming and team meetings, it'll help you a lot. And when you go into a real business world, if you don't do that, it may cost your life. It may cost your job, cost your career, cost your company $1 billion as well, because you didn't decode the message well enough. You took wrong notes, or you never took the notes. You don't know what to remember. No good, not good. I talked about the eye contact, facial posture a lot. We'll cover that a lot. When you did a 1-minute speech, beginning of the semester, most of you were not experienced or were not confident enough to present yourself. You were very nervous and shy and didn't know what to say and how to even move your body. You were like this, and I don't know, and these very not so confident gestures or the images and messages. Now, stop that. Have confidence. Whatever you say, you're the only one who knows the best. Because we cannot go into your brain and kind of see what's inside. You know what you will say. You know what you represent. You know the best. So stop fidgeting. Stop being shy. Start being confident. Okay? And to do that, I have eye contact with her. I have eye contact with those person who has, back on me. Maybe he's listening, I guess, I hope. I'm just teasing. In appearance, okay? Whether I wear a very formal tie or jeans, do I look sincere enough? Do I look caring enough? Do I look trusting enough? Do I send my facial expression when I smile, when I get serious? Do I send a clear message that I care for what I just said, care for you to listen? Okay? And creating documents, doing the same job is a whole lot different level of discipline, by the way. Writing emails, creating even a logo, by the way. Company logo, letterhead, envelope, email, proposal, all that. All those documentation do count because they are the face of your own messages. They see what they see. Once those documents leave your hand, those documents will speak for you. Unless those documents have the appearance and the message what you intended to be effective enough, it's out of your hand. Okay? We'll learn about how to create a document that'll do a good job that you intended. Okay? Also talk about that as we go along. I'll skip those. I'll upload these on the Facebook anyway, so you'll see it. This is important and fun. Can somebody please out loud read for me? You say, okay, I understand, but your eyebrows go really angry, and people can spot that. Okay? When a company sends a very friendly message to the market, try to make a friendly gesture, and company doesn't actually do what it actually meant to say, and like this, the market, the consumers, customers will understand. Okay? So when you guys go into the project of analyzing your client company, okay, try to look at it as the perspective of the market, from the consumers, from the customer. You use a lot of stuff as consumers every day. I use my cell phone, I use my own clothing, I use my hairspray and everything. As a consumer, what do I want from the company who provide that product for me, to me? And as a consumer, you have a clear understanding of what you want because you're a consumer. You would never pay, you would never use certain product, certain service unless you like it. Apple users, iPhone users, they pick up iPhone because they love it. Unless they love it, they just pick up anything from, I don't know, some black market out there, right? And do Apple company, do Samsung, do HTC, do Huawei understand exactly the consumers understand? I don't think so. If they did, Nokia should still be a #1 company in the world. Motorola still be #1 company in the world. Samsung is losing their ground in China. They don't understand market. They're smart people, like me, like you, but they don't listen. That's the key. Now these are common sense. You already know. You're expert at it, I'm sure. When you look at the mirror, you see yourself. There are two individuals. The one that's seeing, the one that's being seen. Very philosophical, right? When you wake up in the morning, your hair is like very messy, your teeth are brown, and you have a little thing on your eyes, whatever it is. You are seeing yourself on the mirror. You have a seeing self, you have a self that's being seen as well. There are two selves, that's all you. When you speak, when you present something, when you communicate something, when you try to create the empathy, your thinking, my thinking, same empathy, try to also see yourself. If you can see it in practice in front of a mirror, or capture your own presentation in a video, it'll be good. Otherwise, you feel what you say, what you do. You can do it because you're a man of intellect. Okay, you can do it. Feel yourself what you're doing. Don't just say it just because you want to. That's a little baby stage. You're no longer baby. Companies, when they are young, they act like baby. They don't know what to say. They don't know what kind of message they want to send to the market. They don't know how to create advertising for their company. They don't know how to package the goods because they're like babies. They're not experienced as a company. But once the company becomes very experienced and very mature, they don't make mistakes because they know what they are sending as encoded messages. Look at yourself as well. When you send something, try to feel yourself as a person, as a company. Not everyone, not every company does that. Actually, they do it very poorly. Many of them don't even know what that means, by the way. Yep. Well, because the market these days, as we all know, national boundary becomes no longer an issue. I have a product from Taiwan. I have a consumer from Argentina. I have an investor who's paying for all the operation from, I don't know, you name it, Moscow, whatever. The border lines doesn't really matter anymore. And it's online nowadays. So entire globe is one single market communicating with how many people on this planet? How many? What? 7 billion? 7 billion. Okay, a lot. Okay, your job, you as a very intellectually disciplined business analyst, your job is to advise your client how to make all those people on the planet, I don't even know how many, so many people, their own loyal customers. It is your job. Tell them how to make your customers happy. How many customers? More the merrier. Not just in Korea, not just in China, not just in USA, not just in France, but everyone on the planet. Company who do it better, making everyone happy, they become #1. And you know what these days? If you become number one, usually there is no number two. There's no number three. There's only number one. When Google came up out of nowhere, everyone laughed at Google. We have Yahoo already. Everyone's using Yahoo. Who's going to use what? What? Goose? Google? What a funny name. What a stupid name. Everyone laughed at them. No, I don't see Yahoo anymore. It's Google these days. When Apple said, well, we're going to produce a phone, Nokia literally laughed at Apple. You kidding me? You are a company who produces a computer, a little stupid box. Cell phone, mobile device is a very sophisticated device. You don't understand what it is to be a mobile producer. Well, good luck, Nokia. You're gone. Now, the world is flat in a sense that everyone's talking to each other, but everyone's different. Just like 60 of you, you guys are all different. You don't think alike. You're all different. And your job as a business analyst, your job as a company, your job as a very smart advisor to the company out there is how to make all these 200 nations, 5,000 different race, 10,000 different languages, how many ever cultural background they have, make them all happy. How do you do that? Well, somebody does it. How? Listen. Empathy. Me, you, same. We think same. How do you think? How do you say? How do you want? What do you want? What do you like? I listen. That's what you like. That's what you like. There's a common ground. Here's a product. Done. We'll get to more details later on, but I'm giving you the summary first. Yep, this one you guys all know as a common sense. Take a look at it when I upload it. It's better that you read all these because it'll help you, because this is how you will deploy tactical moves when you understand multicultural consumer bases out there for your own client advising. Okay, try to get this into your own, your own heads. These are all common sense. Take a look at those again. Yeah, remember we said beginning of the class, none of us here, including myself, native English speakers. It's good. Now we understand each other. We come from all different backgrounds. We all learn to pick up some certain language and be able to communicate. It's not how fancy you speak, how fluent you speak certain language. If you speak a very good English, maybe you become, I don't know, a writer, a media person, a politician maybe, I don't know. But in the world of business, it's not how fancy you speak, it's how openly you speak, how much energy you have, how much passion you have that'll touch somebody's heart. When consumer listens to you with certain product, are you saying bullshit? I'm sorry. Are you saying with honesty? You're saying with a passion, some energy that you concur, empathize. You don't need the fancy English for that. You need a certain word, certain image, a message of heart, message of care, with the price, decent price, I guess. All that combined. True communication is not a fancy Nobel Prize writing. Okay? It's a very simple, open heart, passionate communication of, what can I do for you? How can I make you happy? My dear customer, my dear consumer, my dear market, I'm here for you. How can I serve you? Simply done. And those big companies, when they become very big, you know what? They become very arrogant. They don't become stupid because they have no brain. They become arrogant, and their arrogance makes them very stupid. Remember to smile. You see, there's a time you want to be serious. Otherwise, you'll be a comedian, right? There is a time you need to also smile as well. Well, you don't smile all the time. If you smile all the time, they'll look at you low. You will smile all the time, you're nothing. You want to be serious enough, sincere enough, to deliver your message, when you encode the message and channel it through without all the noises. But every once in a while making eye contacts, in person or through a media to the market of 60 million people out there, smile. Smile means I come as a friend. I do not come as an enemy message. Whether in person, whether Apple to market, Samsung to market, GM to market, same thing. Company cannot smile. LG has a smile logo, by the way. Well, good job, LG. Can you really smile at your customers? I don't know. Okay? Did you actually make your consumers, your market, your customers actually happy, friends? Don't even go into a family thing, because a lot of companies, oh, you're my family, and all those BS. But try to make them friends by actually sending a very good smile, not just as a symbolic message, but as a gesture, as an action, as a policy, as a product, as a services, as a price, as a marketing campaign, as actual product that I give to your hand. Make them happy friends. That's the smile from company to the consumers. And between you as a business analyst, of a consulting company, and with the client company you want to speak to, hypothetically, you also need to smile. Okay? Make them friends. And be serious as well. Be very, very, you mean it. You mean to say what you say. But you smile as well. Okay? All right, we'll skip those. Oh. One in red, seek common ground. Because everyone, individually here, people out there, companies over here, because they're all different. Not only they're different, they all seek different interests. Oh, I want to make a lot of money from you, so you pay me a lot. And you say, no, I don't want to pay you much. I want to save my money. I want to pay you little. There's a conflict of interest. How do you make her pay as much as she wants to pay? You can't force, oh, I have a price, you take it or leave it. That's a low level of making the relationship as a company to a customer. Some companies do that. Well, I'm the only one out there, monopoly. I'm the only Apple, I'm the only Samsung, I'm the only whatever. So you pay me or go. Well, they'll buy. Some people will buy because they really want it. But that's not the best way to make them friends. That's not the best way to smile. When you smile and you pay me 1,000 times, you want to pay, you're smiling, but you're sticking a knife. Not good. What did I say? What can I do to make you happy? How much are you willing to pay? What value would you expect when you pay certain amount? Whether it's a product, service, just the experience, or brand loyalty that I have this brand on my pocket. What makes you happy? And finding that happy common ground is something that companies do not do well. Again, Nokia failed by not seeing that common ground. Again, Motorola doing very bad these days, though they are the inventor of the mobile devices. Samsung, they're losing a lot of ground in China, but a lot of smart people. They do not see the common ground. They only see it from themselves. Hey, this is what you want. This is what you will pay. The way I want it. No. What can I do to make you happy? Send a real smile to the consumers. And companies do not lose the consumers if they really send a real smile. Consumers understand if it's a real smile or a fake smile. They understand. Okay? Your job is to find a real smile that will make the customer of your client company really happy friends. Okay? I think that's it. So far, any questions?
After Professor Casey, to add something is actually quite a difficult job. But I wanted to be of use as much as possible and to illustrate in a more practical, from my personal experience way, how this type of communication be adapted to your daily life immediately. And I wanted to talk about the role of mistakes, especially related to the 5-second rule, which Professor Casey has mentioned before. As you may know, when we communicate, sometimes we have hurt our family, our co-workers, everybody around you. And nobody's perfect, including me. I make mistakes every single day. And I constantly remember the 5-second rule simply because it's a necessity of life. So I think the biggest point that we also have to take from this presentation is it's okay to be imperfect. However, you make the mistake, but you also then remember what is your ideal. What's the path that you actually want to go? So you take this theory, I make the mistake, and then I say, where did I make the mistake? So for example, a big weakness that I have personally is I communicate in a Western style very often. However, I live in Korea, so I'm very direct. So I can be very direct and very aggressive to some people, although it's never my intention. And if I say something to you and you don't take it very well, I feel very bad. And I think everybody can feel bad when they hurt other people. So what Professor Casey in this case would do, he's a master at this. If you tell him something, you're terrible, you look awful. But this is not serious. Professor Casey would say, very interesting point. And then that would end there. So this is, in action, the power of 5-second rule, which Professor Casey has shown. And I think this is very important for us to remember that it's okay. We make mistakes, we understand what our mistake, and we move on. And this is the point I wanted to make.
All right, let's get started. I just asked all of you, specifically to the team leaders, to change the seating arrangement. Front to back, back to front, both sides. Quick quiz, don't answer it now, answer it about an hour later, or 30 minutes later. Why do you think I asked all of you to move seats like this? Question, don't answer right now. Think, experience, feel. This is a message I sent to you as an encoding message. Please decode and let me know if my encoding and your decoding same. Okay? Got it? All right, let's get started. Can we dim the light? A little bit, just a little bit. Just one light. Okay. For next 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, I don't know how long, but next topic is about brainstorming. Okay? How many of you had an experience of ever entering into a brainstorming session, or so it was called, the brainstorming session? How many of you have experience? Please raise your hand. Raise high so I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Less than 20. We have 60 people here. Only about less than 1/3 of this entire room have done an experience of brainstorming. All right. Now, most of you did not experience one. Maybe you have seen the Wikipedia definition of it if you have a little interest, but let's take a look at it. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it means. This is just a driving test manual. And for next 30 minutes, we're going to make you a F1 car racer of brainstorming. How's that? You didn't get that, right? All right, we'll see. Brainstorming, it says, thank you. let's generate a keyword out of this text. This is a group brainstorming of 60 individuals here. Okay? It's a Casey Kim to all of you. Forget the team for now. It's individual brainstorming. Can you generate keywords out of this, manual of what brainstorming may mean to you? What's important in this definition? Can somebody please pick the keyword out of this? What's important? Yes, sir.
Ideas.
Ideas. What else? Yes, sir. Gathering. What else? Yes, sir. Effective. What else? Yes, sir. Creativity. Thank you. What else? Yes, sir. Efforts. Excellent. What else is there? Conclusion. Super. Very good. What else is there? Can you read in between lines? Whatever is not written here, can you dig up some keyword or key ideas? Can you decode a message out of this encoding? Can you please? What's important in brainstorming? Yes, sir. Thank you. Very good. He says something that is not written here, a word called synergy. He read between the lines. He decoded the message out of the encoding, and probably he meant to point the ones that encoder, the sender, has intended. Synergy. Okay, I'll use this part. Thank you. What else? We can understand the definition of brainstorming. This is a basic English. Read between the lines. What's in there? Specification. Can you elaborate a little more? What do you mean by specification? I'm trying to understand your mind.
Putting ideas into, you verbally take it out of your minds, and anyways, like you can write it down or put it down on paper, or by telling some other people, it gets specified as you speak, as you write, and as you share ideas.
Okay, I got you. How about bringing the ambiguous ideas to a clear idea, transformation of it? Is that fair understanding? Did I decode you correctly? Thank you. What else?
Perspective.
Effective.
No, perspective.
Perspective. Can you elaborate a little more?
Yeah, as it's brainstorming, and well, it says individual or maybe a group. If you're brainstorming in a group, then as everyone says just words or ideas, maybe their ideas will be like from different perspective. It would help you to see things through
Okay.
your eyes.
Core of the communication.
Yeah.
Good. Communication is good. Good. What else is there? Anything else? Think. Let's think for 5 seconds. Did I miss anything? Did we miss anything? Can I say a word as an individual, not as a professor? How about a word called, just as an individual, a right to say what I say? Yeah, nobody said what I just said, right? Everyone. Because every single individual counts. If we do a brainstorming, it's not because somebody is very smart, or somebody is just a leader, or somebody looks handsome or beautiful. Everyone is important. So we want to make sure that everyone has a chance to say certain things, listen to certain things, and everyone is participating. That's what I think. we cover pretty much everything about brainstorming. Whatever this meaning may be, well, let's break it down. Brain, everyone knows what brain is. Storm, big thunder, a lot of water from sky and just pouring into my body, my house, flood. Woo! It's something that we don't expect every day. When storm comes to you, imagine, okay, when storm comes to you, unless you live in an area where the storm comes every single day, I don't know what's out there, but normally speaking, storm does not come to you every day in a single year. It comes every once in a while, and it usually shocks you, surprises you, makes you very uncomfortable in a sense. You want to recover from those challenges. They challenge you. There's a big storm coming. It's not easy. It's not a theme park happy moment, right? It's a very challenging mental shock or language shock or action of expression between and amongst everybody. It's not easy. And they're doing it to your own brain. Oh, it's not easy. It's not a happy moment to start with. But would it remain as unhappy memory and end as unhappy memory? I don't think so. The idea of storming your brain is to go through all this process, creativity, gathering ideas, blah, 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 whatever it is, and try to get something that's meaningful. Conclusion, if you may call it, some creativity you want to result in, some synergy you want to derive out of, some specification you want to define as, whatever it may be, you want to get something done. Why? Because you have a team here, 15 people each usually. Everyone's thoughts are important. And you want to make sure that you get counted as well. Your thought counts, and make it count. How? Through a process called brainstorming. We're going to see a few videos now and experience, kind of watch what brainstorming actually means by the experts. Let's take a look and kind of feel what it is, okay? We've done the basics now. Okay, we dim the light, please. First one is called 5 important rules of brainstorming. It says, number 1, postpone and withhold your judgment of ideas. In other words, do not criticize. Stop criticizing, stop talking, start listening. Start respecting others. Do not say anything. Let them say whatever they want to say. Listen. Number 2, encourage wild and exaggerated ideas. That's too crazy. That's too stupid. That doesn't make sense. Don't ever say it. Say to your wildest dream, wildest imagination possible. Whatever you want to say, your idea counts. We encourage that. Quantity counts at this stage, not quality. We want to have as many counting, as many ideas possible. Whether we use it towards the conclusion, we just throw it away as a wasted idea, it's okay. Say whatever you want to say, more the merrier. More ideas we have, we'll have a better quality at the end, chances are. 4, build on the ideas put forward by others. When I say something, when you guys say something, I mean, before I ask these questions, by the way, to be honest, I never thought about the word everyone. I'm being very honest. I never thought about it in my life. You have said some word, it triggered, you guys triggered my brain as a storm. How about I say this and become a star? Everyone. Doesn't that make sense? You triggered me, and I built on your own ideas. What's next? 5, every person and every idea has equal worth. Well, there you go, everyone, every person. So I did say something that makes sense, I think. And we want to know yours. Your thought counts. Okay? It is the synopsis of the entire video. Take a look at what they mean to you.
.uk. Copyright 1999. There are 5 important rules to keep in mind when dealing with brainstorming. The first rule is to postpone and withhold your judgment of ideas. It's at this point in time in the brainstorming session that you don't want to pass judgment on anyone's ideas. The purpose of brainstorming is to get the ideas out. and by passing judgment whether either positive or negative can only impact the amount of ideas that are actually brought out in a brainstorming session. Rule number 2, encourage wild and exaggerated ideas. It's much easier to tame a wild idea than it is to think of an immediately valid one in the first place. The more wild, the better. Shout out bizarre and unworkable ideas and see what they spark off. No idea is too ridiculous. State any outlandish ideas, exaggerate ideas to the extreme. Rule number 3, quantity counts at this stage, not quality. You're looking for launching points. You're looking for places to build ideas from. The more ideas you have gathered, the better the chance you're going to find one that can be built on later. Rule number 4, build on the ideas put forward by others. Build and expand on the ideas of others. Try and add extra thoughts to each idea. Use other people's ideas as inspiration on your own. You'll never know which idea will be the golden idea unless you take a look at each of them in a little bit more detail. Rule number 5, every person and every idea has equal worth. Every person has a valid point and a unique perspective on the situation and solution. We want to know yours. This concludes the 5 fundamental principles of brainstorming. Use these at your next meeting and see what ideas you can spark up.
The reason why we're spending a big focus on brainstorming discipline, exercise, is because the business analyst of the McKinsey type of the intellectually trained people, they do a good brainstorming because they want to take something out of nothing that nobody even imagined. And you need to get into a habit of discipline of thinking wild, thinking imaginative, thinking creative, yet think logically, making sense intellectually and emotionally. That'll surprise the audience, that'll make the audience happy and make sure that they agree with your thoughts at the end. It's a process of creating something that's unimaginable to reality. They pay you, they count on you to do the job. You guys are the disciplined thinkers who can find the solutions out of the problems. You guys are the problem solvers. You guys are the business doctors. Okay? You guys are the smartest of the smartest. Not in terms of IQ, because that doesn't really matter unless you know how to use it. Okay? You understand how to use your brain capability to the maximum power. If you have a certain power limit, you can use 14 others in your own team and make it 15 times stronger or 150 times stronger. That's what you do to create a synergy. Second video. How do you do a right brainstorming? There is a right way, effective way. There is a stupid wrong way. And he says 1 plus 1 plus 1, mathematically speaking, theoretically, it is same as equal to 3. In brainstorming theory or brainstorming practice, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is bigger than, better than 3. So if you have 15 people, your 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus equal to or better than, more than 15 as a whole. There are do's and don'ts, and we'll take a look at the videos by simply watching it.
Hi, I'm Ed Musio, CEO of Group Harmonics. I'm going to tell you about brainstorming done right. We hear the word brainstorming used around the workplace a lot, and usually now we just use it to mean everyone share your idea. But everyone can share their ideas by email. The idea of real brainstorming is we have a group of people, like this group here. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. In other words, they can do more together than they could do alone. The way brainstorming is supposed to work is that we get this group together. This person shares an idea he has, maybe, with these people. Maybe she hears that idea, gives her another idea, gives this person another idea. They all start talking back and forth about their different ideas. And eventually, this person hears all that, and it inspires this person to have an idea that nobody else had. In a sense, it's this person's idea, but in a sense, this great idea came from everything that came before it. That's real brainstorming. Now, if you want to do your brainstorming right and get ideas you wouldn't otherwise get, there are some simple do's and don'ts that you need to follow. The first do for good brainstorming is you do want to capture everything, and I mean everything. You want to start a flip chart or maybe a whiteboard, and you want to write down everything anyone says, no matter how crazy it sounds. You may be inclined to skip some things, but you don't want to do that. You want to get everything on the board. What you don't want to do is you don't want to evaluate anything. You don't want to say, that'll never work, that's too expensive, and not write it down. This may not be a useful idea, but it may inspire the next useful idea, so you want it up. Now, the next thing you want to do in good brainstorming is you want to encourage participation. It's perfectly valid to turn to someone and say, Frank, I haven't heard from you in a while. Do you have any new ideas? Maybe Frank has something he's been thinking about. On the other hand, what you don't want to do is you never want to force participation or participation sequence. If you're just going to make everyone go around the table and say what they think, you've lost the organic nature of the process and you're back to using email. Don't force it. The third thing you want to do in proper brainstorming is you want to allow people to ask clarifying questions. Let's say, for example, that you said your idea was to change the business process. I might ask you, do you mean the accounting business process or do you mean the customer service business process? That's a clarifying question. I'm trying to understand what your idea really is. What we never want to do is we never want to allow anyone to ask judging questions. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to say to you, how can you possibly think that would work? That's a judging question. It's really a secret way of just evaluating, and it's too soon in the process for evaluating. Now, once you've gotten through that part of the process, once you've got your full list and everyone's best ideas are out, then you can start to evaluate. Actually, you're going to do three things. First, you're going to categorize. You're going to find like items, and you're going to group them together so you can reduce the number of things you have to study. Then, you're going to reduce. You're going to go through and find the things that just won't work, you know they're not feasible, and you're going to take them off the list. And then finally, you're going to analyze. You're going to look at what's left, figure out which are the best ideas, and bring them forward, hopefully, for implementation. So the next time you have a group of people and you need a great idea, do your brainstorming right. Capture everything everyone says, encourage participation, and make sure you allow clarifying questions. But don't evaluate anything too soon in the process. Don't force people to participate or their order, and don't ask judging questions. Once you've got your list together, then you can categorize, reduce, and analyze what you have. And hopefully what you'll find there will include your next great idea.
Out of this video, I caught something that I want to not miss sharing with you. When you do a brainstorming, it's not competing who's smarter. It's not competing whose IQs are mathematically higher. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't mean anything. It is to inspire each other so that your team can get better ideas, the next great ideas, and have it implemented. If you produce ideas and leave it as a theoretical framework and just go home, no good. You just wasted your time and your team's time, your client's money. Your ideas should result in implementation. I sound like a broken record, but when I say something 3 times, it is very important. Inspire, and so that it can be implemented. Okay? Said enough. Next video. This is the last one today. There are advanced ways. You've just seen the basics right now. You've just seen the what to do as a very, very routine way of doing the brainstorming. Yes, they are probably the correct way because they have experience of doing it. They're experts at doing that. Now, there are advanced way. I want to show this to you. There are 6 creative ways to brainstorm ideas. There are 6 ways. One's called mind mapping. We'll see what it is. We'll see about right braining, provocative actions, break and build, pessimist versus optimist, and randomness. Okay? They sound pretty cool or puzzled. Let's see what it is. These are the advanced techniques of brainstorming.
6 creative ways to brainstorm ideas. During the brainstorm process, it can be easy to hit a brick wall. If your brainstorm session has reached a dead end, here are some creative ways to generate fresh ideas that your audience will love. Mind mapping. This strategy creates a visual representation of related terms and ideas that can generate creative content ideas. Create a diagram with a central main idea that you can branch off to correlating words or concepts. Use the web of information in the diagram to help you generate a well-rounded view on single or multiple ideas. Right braining. Release your creative thoughts by doodling incomplete images. Think of a general topic to doodle from and start sketching images associated to that topic. Be sure to draw images that are incomplete, as leaving out portions or aspects of an image can spark creativity later. Then take your different images and try combining them in different ways to generate a new idea.
By the way, I see some of you already taking some specific notes. Well, you'll see this video on the upload anyway, but that's later. You have a real-time watching of something important. And some of you I already see taking notes. Very good. Very good.
Provocative actions. Look at things differently by changing your physical surroundings or by verbally communicating in unexpected ways. Try shaking things up. Physically change a room by turning the chairs upside down or verbally make an off-the-wall comment. For example,
Could you design upside down?
What does the word design look like upside down?
either way, unusual situations will ignite creative responses that you can pull ideas from. Break and build. This process is about breaking down and building up ideas to get a range of related information. Break down a general thought or idea into more detailed pieces of information, or do the opposite and build it up to reach a broader viewpoint. In the end, your solution can be based on the wide range of information from the process. Pessimist versus optimist. Find a creative solution for ideas from the conversation between a pessimist and an optimist. Start off a general topic of conversation with the phrase, "How about?" Then challenge the starting comment with a pessimistic response, followed by the optimist providing his answer to the pessimist's comment. For example,
We do not know how to design an infographic.
We can hire an infographic designer.
We do not have any ideas for him to design.
We can research ideas and hand him an outline.
by building upon each other's responses, a general idea can evolve into a more focused, relevant one. Randomness. Find the connection between a random word or thought and a general topic to develop a new creative idea. First, start with a general idea. Next, generate a random object and list words that can describe it or are associated with it. Last, pick the words from your list that can relate back to your general idea to form your solution. The next time you hit a brick wall, try using these creative development methods to make brainstorming for your content ideas a more fun, imaginative process with better solutions. For your content ideas,
Perfectly the point. When you go to a travel, well, many reasons for traveling, but one of the better reasons is that you leave your daily lives, move on to a new space, a new environment, and you experience something new. You get a new inspiration. Yes? So I asked many of you sitting in the back, usually do not see my beautiful shoes, and asked them to come in the front, and they realize how beautiful I am, at least on my bottom part. And we go back and forth back. You get new perspective, different angle, different feel. Actually, you become a different person, as a matter of fact. You are the same, but you become a different person because you feel differently. I actually had you experience that in person. Okay? And likewise, every single week, okay, we're going to have a little alternation of the seating changes. I'll be creative next time. Professor Ole will be creative as well, okay? So be prepared. We're gonna break you and build you. All right? little thought to finish, and then we're going to take a quick break and come back to have your presentation. The word brainstorming, if you please stay with me. And if you can please face me as well. If you do not hate me, please look at my face. If you hate me, you can stay the way you stay. Can you please look at me? I will wait. Thank you. Thank you. I want to have full attention, please. This is important. Corporate communication. Companies speaking to the market. Every customers out there, they are not just numbers, they are individuals. Okay? We have 50 million population in the land of Korea. We do a statistic. Oh, we have 50 million people, half of them male, half female, some old, some young, some rich, some poor. A lot of the company analysts do a statistical analysis. They treat customers as numbers. I tell them, please, you can do that to a certain degree. You need that data to create some quantitative analysis. It's okay to do a certain degree, but do not end there. Go a little further. They are not just numbers. They are people. They are live human beings. They breathe like you. You smart analyst, you smart brain power of Samsung or LG or whatever company you're with. You're smart, but treat your customers as a living human being as well, not numbers. When you do a brainstorming, it's like telling your big client company, big, huge, billions of dollars they make. They do not like storms, by the way. They like tranquility, stable, very quiet, unchanging. They don't even like to change seats. When I go to Samsung and speak group of executives, when I do the same thing, they say, why do you make us stand up and change seating? This is very uncomfortable. They just don't like being uncomfortable. They just don't like storming on their brains from someone like me or someone like you guys. Because you know why? They like their comfort zone. They like the way they are, very comfortable the way they are. If they change a little bit, the way they sit, the way they move up and down from distance, they just don't like it. It's different, and they just don't like change. They just do not like storming their brain, so they become a new company, new organization, new executives leading to a new things out there. They hate it. They hate changes. Because no one likes storming. They like very nice, very nice Guam beach, whatever, right? Storm is it's a difficult thing. But through storm, okay, you put away those weak roofs, and you, after the storm is gone, because you were hit by the storm, your weak roofs were gone. After the storm, what do? You build a better, stronger, firm roof. So next time storm comes, you'll be safe. Does it not make sense? If there is no storm ever, you'll just have a very loose roof because there is no storm ever. Companies need to be challenged because consumers out there, they're not just numbers, they're just actual individuals, living human beings like you guys, like those executives. Okay? Unless they are challenged to really seek what they really want from the customers. How do I make them happy? How do I make them valuable? They just stay that way because they just like their comfort zone. It's very comfortable, very comfy. Okay? We say to them, face the storm, win it, persevere, and and win it. You become a better organization after the storm. Because Nokia did not face the storm correctly, they're gone. They are end of story. They lost their market, they're gone. Okay? So remember this. And in your own team, in your 15-member team, if you do not do a good storming on your brain and create good ideas, participating, inspiring, getting the conclusion that can be implemented. Your storming was maybe too little breeze. You had a good time, but there was nothing meaningful out of it. So make sure you do a hard storming on your brains. How's that? Any other questions, comments? Any thoughts, Professor Ole?
Besides these points, which Professor Casey has made, I wanted to add another way which some companies in some fields have been practicing very effectively. I wanted to understand how many people have been interested or might be interested in potentially working in high technology companies or in this similar field. For example, software like Google, Facebook. Who has interest in this kind of companies? Okay, nobody. Well, these kind of companies...
I am.
All right, great. Especially what right now I might explain might be potentially useful to everyone because you will be affected anywhere you work. Especially when you work in finance or when you work in marketing, you are affected by software. You are affected by Google, by Facebook, and depending on the company you might be working in, you might be working with technical people, for example, developers. And especially for developers, with technical people, I will show you how they do their brainstorming right now. Remember, last week I said that in a technical company, in a high technology such as Facebook or Google, there's no such thing as hierarchy when you work, especially among developers and marketers, when marketers or finance people have to work together. So we have talked about the importance of everyone being on the same page, respecting everyone's idea mattering. So how do these people do it? Imagine I'm a developer. I have been sitting in my computer all my life like this, coding, so that finance people or market people can bring what I do, my product, to the market. The most important thing that Facebook or Google does when coming up with great ideas is they first imagine what kind of future do we want to live in. When we do a certain project, say, what's our ideal world? If we want to give a product to people, how do I imagine every one of you using this product? If it had every single feature. So every single brainstorming session starts with everyone just giving their vision without any rank, without any order. But then something else happens. For example, at Facebook or Google, every single Friday in many software companies is the brainstorming day. So just the entire day you don't do anything but brainstorming. So in the morning you meet and then everybody shares their ideas of the future. And then without judging, as we mentioned before, no judging, every single developer, every single marketer, every single person on the finance team is then able to think about the ideas that were said in the meeting in the morning. And then the CEO says, you have the entire day to take these ideas and to make them happen. Just do whatever you want during the day, but do something with those ideas. And everybody starts executing. If I, for example, want to add a pink bracelet to this watch, I will take my friend's bracelet and I will go to the jeweler in my local shop, and I will say, why don't you add these pink things? And then in the evening, I come back to my boss, to my team, and say, here's the result with the pink. What do you think? Maybe we should sell it. And then, because I have added a pink bracelet, it can spark other ideas. So, another way of adding to brainstorming is imagine the future, don't judge, do, and then improve. And this is how Facebook and Google comes up with great ideas, which changes how the way we live.